Hello, callers. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We start with Franck Kessie, as it has been reported that Barca are not ruling out transfer listed stars stay if 35 million euro offers do not arrive. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Secondly, in this episode, talking about Vitor Roque, as it has been reported that Barca are planning to sign the teenager very soon, as 45 million euro is the price being set. But the thing is, they could delay his arrival until January due to some unforeseen circumstances. So guys, as we get right into the full stories, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. As we close in on the summer transfer window, Barcelona are making huge efforts to try and make some player sales apart from the stars who were away on loan last season. The Blaugrana are also trying to offload three first-team players in the form of Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres and Franck Kessie. However, things are not straightforward for the Catalans as they are facing roadblocks in their efforts to offload the aforementioned trio. But according to a fresh report from Sport, Barcelona are not ruling out the continuity of Franck Kessie at the club if he does not receive offers in the range of 35 million euros. The Blaugrana signed the Ivorian for a free transfer last summer, and any fee that they receive for him will be chalked as net profit. However, Barca are clear that it will not make sense for them to sell Franck Kessie if for an insignificant amount, which would not even allow them to replace him with a quality player in that midfield department. So Barcelona might have to put Kessie on the transfer list, but they are clear that he can be an asset to the club as he brings a different flavor to the midfield owing to his profile, which is much contrasting to the other players in the position at Barcelona. As such, the La Liga champions will only consider selling Franck Kessie if an offer in the region of about 35 million euros arrive. If not, they are not against the idea of keeping him at the club. So far, Inter Milan have been the club to show the most interest in Franck Kessie. However, they are not capable of paying money for his signing and instead pushing for player exchange deals. Barca are hoping some teams from the Premier League come forward and pay for the fee for the former AC Milan star, but there has been no moment thus far. Only time will tell what happens with Franck Kessie's future this summer. Of course, Franck Kessie has been one of those players that Barca have transfer listed, even though some fans don't agree with that he has tried his best to, to convince Xavi, but just the fact that Xavi don't see him as important in his plans or in his tactics of things. Franck Kessie have not had the best time at Barca, and I think when coming to Barca from AC Milan last summer, not even he himself never knew that it's going to turn out like this. But I think he has had his moments though. When players were injured in midfield, players like Frankie De Jong when he was injured, as well as Pedri, I think Franck Kessie made a good impression in the replacement of those injured stars. He did well, playing well, and there was no complaints. I don't think Xavi have ever criticized anything he did, but it's just that his style of play is not the way Xavi likes, by the way. But not like he enters and play rubbish. He does not play rubbish. Franck Kessie was so instrumental 2 seasons ago in the run for AC Milan's Scudetto win. Talking about Serie A victory, and Barca bought him with a lot of promise, knowing that he's gonna be a crucial player for us. Of course, it is very clear that Xavi didn't give a say in that transfer. The agreement, we quite remember, was already made way before the summer transfer window last year, because Franck Kessie knew very well that his next destination was Barca when leaving AC Milan. So things have not gone so well for him, and it is not the greatest of surprises that The midfielder have been linked to clubs, or the midfielder have been put inside the transfer list of Barca, as they are so desperate for cash. They want to really, balance the wage bill. And of course, Barca are seeing it as important to sell him if a good amount comes. That is, if a good amount comes. And they're talking about 35 million. I'm like, this is not gonna work. I don't think any club out there will pay up to 35 million for Franck Kessie, considering the season that just passed. He has not been too instrumental. He's a good player that deserves such an amount, but I doubt if any top club in Europe will try to remove that amount for Franck Kessie, because they know for sure that manager Xavi doesn't rate him highly. So why should they pay such a hefty amount on a player that have not been playing regularly? So let's see how things go. But Barca have said they will keep him. They will keep him if that 35 million euro is not reached. If no club show up with that amount, then they will keep him. Inter Milan, that have been the most talked about club showing interest, they are only insisting on player exchange. But Barca have disagreed full time that they won't go for that. They want a cash. They want but the cash. That's what now is important for Barca. Then on to the next story of discussion. It is no secret that Barcelona have their sights fixed on this Atletico Paranense wonderkid Vitor Roque heading into the summer window. Reports earlier this week indicated that an agreement had been reached on the player's agent and Barca. However, Fabrizio Romano dismissed those claims, stating that there was nothing agreed yet, but negotiations are ongoing between the two clubs. Now, though, Roger Torello of Mundo Deportivo has come up with a fresh update on the matter, stating that Barca intend to sign Vitor Roque this summer, no matter what. However, his arrival might be delayed depending on the financial fair play situation at the club. The Blaugrana Sports Management and head coach Xavi Hernandez are convinced that Vitor Roque is the ideal candidate for a Robert Lewandowski backup as the main striker of Barcelona. However, the top priority for the La Liga giants heading into the summer is the signing of a new pivot midfielder, an interior midfielder, a left winger in case Ansu and Ferran Torres are sold, and also a right back. Once these positions are addressed and there are player exits, opening up enough fair play margin, Barca will consider signing and incorporating a Roque this summer itself. However, in case there is not enough margin, Barcelona will sign the 18-year-old so as to avoid the risk of losing him to a different club, but let him stay on loan at Atletico until the January transfer window before he comes. The report states that Barca expect the operation to be worth 45 million euros in total. That is 35 million in fixed plus 10 million in variables. Further, it is claimed that Vitor Roque would be on a salary above around 3 million euros per year. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.